Hey everyone, wanted to make one of my first scrapping videos in a while. Been doing a few other things and piled up quite a bit of stuff that's not repairable, or I don't have the parts for testing or whatnot. Uh, so the first video I'm doing, I think I've already done an original Xbox scrapping video. But that was a while back, and I don't think I talked about value of the stuff inside one of these scrap versus, for example, selling it online or even locally to people who want to fix their stuff. So I have this guy over here. It's partially opened already. So compared to newer consoles, there's a lot of low-grade stuff in this. Lots of plastic, garbage. Tested the hard drive. It's very old school, not surprising. And the hard drive is dead. It's like at zero health. So this was definitely one of the problems. It also doesn't power on properly. It kind of turns on and off, especially when you press the eject button. I don't know if that's a power supply issue, but if you don't press any buttons or anything, it stays on. So I doubt it's a power supply issue. So it's either like a main board or some kind of weird issue like that on the main board. So we got this guy here. So I'll put this on the side. I'll put it on the side when I make my hard drive scrapping video. But in this video, I'm just gonna put the value of what it actually is from the usual place I use, which is Board Sort. So we got this guy here. Got a old hard drive cable here. And obviously this is definitely going to have gold pins in it. Obviously good for wire scrap. So let's get this DVD drive out, which doesn't take too much time. It's just a couple of screws. That should open that up pretty easy. There you go. So let's bust this guy open. So since I don't have any way to properly test it, because every time I press the eject button it turns off, and I don't have another another Xbox to kind of swap the drive, and I don't have a lot of experience with Xboxes, so I don't know if you can swap the drives, because I know on the Xbox 360s you can't just swap the drives over. So this is a nice little drive that I'll be cracking open, just because there's a DVD drive board in here, and I like to take those out because sending the DVD drive itself I find is not worth it complete to Board Sort. So we'll put that on the side. So now we have the main board here, which actually looks pretty decent and might be considered a peripheral board. So we got the hard drive DVD drive connection cable. Got another power cable here, no gold in it, but good for scrap wire. So now we have some components here that I'm sure are sellable. I know the power supply works, and I know usually on eBay they go for about 20 bucks. Also depending on the model. Scrap value is almost nothing. There's some copper, and it's a brown board, so low grade. So let's take this guy out. Just a couple of screws. There you go. There you go. So we got a nice Xbox original power supply, which is probably working, like I said. Let's take out the main board, which I think is the issue. These sometimes get corroded in certain places, and they stop working properly. Like I said, with this one, you press the eject button and it just shuts off and turns back on. So let's take out that. Take out all these connections here, which is the controller ports. So we got the main board here. Like I said, I don't think it works anymore. It's not worth fixing. I think a working board is like 20 bucks on eBay with shipping, or free shipping, let's say. So you sell it, you're making 10 bucks. So it's not worth the hassle of fixing. And let's see here. So there's some tantalum capacitors, actually quite a few. Lots of monolithic. I find Xbox stuff has a lot of monolithic capacitors. You have IC chips, so it's a pretty decent board. So let's try to open this thing, see what we can get out of it. So, a nice little aluminum heatsink. We got the processor, or I think it's the processor. Someone with more knowledge on with more knowledge on these guys would be able to answer that for sure. So it's being a little tough. I'm sure there's another IC chip in there too. So there you go. So this is the GPU. So we have the CPU, we have the GPU, and copper bearing motor, aluminum. This I'm pretty sure would be considered a peripheral board, like the PS3, Xbox 360 boards, all those. At least after doing some research, that's what I found out, that Board Sort pays for these. So there you go, some more tantalum. I don't think there's a lot of gold. There's connector here, there's gold in here. There's probably gold pins here, definitely gold pins in there. That's about it for that. Then there's the the controller ports. Last time I had one of these, actually that one that was working. I was able to have one that was working somewhat, so I was able to test it a little bit. I was able to sell these, I think, for about $5 profit. So I think I might have sold them for like $8 or something, free shipping. And there's definitely gold in here. Obviously some wire, but these are good to hold on to. So taking pretty much taken this apart. Let's get the fan out. What do I do with my screwdriver? There you go. This, I guess you can use this for other projects, let's say. If you want, or if that's something you want to do. There you go. Not sure. I guess you can use it as a PC fan of some sort or whatever, but I'm probably just going to scrap it. And a bunch of metal. So that's pretty much what's in one of these. So I'm going to continue with the video shortly with the value of all of this. eBay versus scrap. And let's see how much one of these things are actually worth when taken apart. See you in a bit. Hey, so I'm going to do, like I was saying right before I stopped the video, I'm going to do a little number crunching here, see what the value is on all this stuff. So I'll start with the copper bearing motors, so the fans. Don't have much of that. Take this guy out. There you go. So this stuff I usually take to a local place. So we have two fans. We have the GPU fan and the console fan. So we have about 3.7 ounces of this stuff, and I usually get about 12 pounds. 12 cents a pound. So value's about 3 cents, or to be more exact, 0.27 cents. 0.027 cents. Let's take that, put it on the side. Then we have the heat sinks. Nice clean aluminum heat sinks, no copper or screws or whatnot stuck to them. So we have about 6.8 ounces, and I usually get about 50 or 60 cents. So let's be conservative, we'll say 50 cents. So we have about 20.9 cents over here. Till now there's no real eBay value, so I'm not talking about eBay value yet. Okay, so now let's start talking about eBay value. So if you crack one of these guys open, you have the power supply, which should be about 20 bucks, so anywhere between 10 and 15 bucks of value. I don't want to cut the cables, but the cables aren't probably much, because I know this one's working. So we have about 13.6 ounces of low grade. And low grade on board sort is 15 cents a pound. So 15 divided by 16. So we have about 12 cents of scrap value here. But like I said, if this is working, you sell it, you'll get about 10 to 15 bucks profit, depending, I guess, on the day. This guy here, I don't know if it's working. I've never seen someone sell it. It's the jack and power buttons in the front. Like you can see, it's low grade, some cable, not worth much. Well, let's put that aside. We have the full hard drive full hard drive is about 1.4 pounds. And on board sort, let's see how much they pay for one of these. So hard drive puncher, no. Hard drives with board are 55 cents a pound. Hey guys, so I lost the battery there, kind of sucks. So as I was saying, we have the hard drive, which was, I think, that's it, 1.37 ounces, and they were 55 cents on board sort, complete like this. So that would make it 19 ounces. Oops, 16. So as it is like this, the value is about 68 cents. Let's jot that down. What else do we have here? So we have the hard drive, we did the power supplies, which was pretty much a pretty much low-grade board. Cables, there's not much. There's the hard drive DVD cable, and this little guy. Also, if the power supply was scrapped and garbage, I'd cut the wire off of that. We have about 2.2 ounces, and I get 80 cents per pound on the cables, or miscellaneous cables, I should say. But actually, 80 cents, but I haven't checked in a long time, but I'll go with 80 cents. Okay, so we have about 11 cents of cable. Put that aside. So we have two more items left. We have the DVD drive, which complete is about 15 cents per pound. So this one's almost 2 pounds, so if we sell it like this, we'll get 20, about 30 cents or so, 25, depending if the rate changed, but I'm pretty sure it was 15 cents a pound. But I'm sure if we take out the board inside, we could make a little more money, since we'd probably still get about 20 to 30 cents just by sending it without the board. Yeah, so the CD-ROM boards are $3.75 on board sort. So let's see how much more we can do with that. Yeah, so there's 16 cents. The drive's complete like this. So let's open it up and see how much the board is worth by itself. So wrong bit. Usually they're Phillips, but this one's Torx. That should be it. Yeah, like I said, if this was a working drive, I don't think it would be worth much anyway. How do we open use some brute strength here to open it up. We're getting it out slowly but surely. Oh, there you go. Some screws over there that I was supposed to get. That's why it's being so difficult. Hidden screws. It's kind of hard to see these in here. There you go. So now it should work a lot easier. So let's see how much this internal board is worth. So the actual DVD board here, the gold pins and the IC chips and all that, we're about 2.1 ounces approximately. So at $3.75 per pound, so we're talking about 46 cents just for this, and then we can take the drive, put it back together. It's still almost 2 pounds at 15 cents, I think I had said. So that would make this still about 25 cents. So let's put that. Then we have the motherboard, which is almost 11 ounces. And like I said, I guess depends where you sell it. This could be a main board or a one socket board. But I know, like I said, Board Sort usually takes these in at peripheral prices. My God, I can't say that word. So this is like almost a buck worth of peripheral board. So we've got all this done here. Then the last thing is the steel. There is some steel in all of this. Not much, but there is some. So right under the top case, there's one sheet of steel, or if you can call it a sheet, I don't know if you can call it a sheet or not. Be careful a little bit with this because it's quite sharp. Could cut you up pretty good. We have this, plus screws, plus the top sheet. So we have about 1.2 ounces of steel in here. If you guys can see it. There you go, about 1.2 ounces. And we're talking about, well, at least board sort, according to board sort prices, they're paying 3 cents a pound on steel. So we're talking about 3.3 cents worth of steel. Well, not anything to write home about. So if we take all of that, we got my little sheet here with all the prices and notes I've been taking. If we take all of that, scrap value would be approximately, this is also rounding out and what they actually pay you when you get there. So this is a very good estimate, let's say. So total in a Xbox, original Xbox console, there's about 2.29 cents worth of scrap, which is not horrible. It's pretty good if you get $2-3 for something that's completely ruined. But like I said, let's take this steel away. So, like I was saying, if things work to a certain extent, you know, it's worth selling the parts. For example, if you have the parts for testing and you have a bad power supply, you know, you can scrap the power supply, and if the motherboard's working, you sell the motherboard, which usually goes for about 20 free shipping on eBay. Again, like for the DVD boards, I think, sorry, not the DVD boards, but if you can test it, that you know the DVD drive works, that's again, or CD drive, that again would be about 15-ish, more or less, with shipping. So we're talking about, if parts are working, I'll make $10 for each working part. But if it's completely scrapped, like for me, this one, I don't have the parts to test it. I know the motherboard is not working because it was doing all sorts of weird, funny things. But I do know the power supply is working, so I'll make about $10 off the power supply, and which wasn't anything special to begin with because it was low grade. I think that was like 15 cents worth of low grade. So yeah. So at the end of the day, if you scrap an Xbox original, you'll make about $2.30. If you can figure out if you have working parts, you'll be able to make anywhere between $10 to $20, let's say. So that's my video for today, and hopefully I'll have another video for you guys soon. I'm hoping to spit out a few of these just because I have quite a bit of stuff lying around. Some tablets, some other consoles, hard drives, so I should be making a couple more videos. So like, subscribe. If you have any comments or any suggestions, let me know. Talk to you guys soon.